Holzman, and this is Confessions of an SEO. Don't worry, you've come across the least SEO podcast on the planet. You don't need to take notes, no interviews, no FOMO, just a place to relax and explore what it feels like to be okay that you're an SEO. Plus, I do hope in some way, if a business owner's listening, that you hear something that will help you want to improve the relationship between your SEO or SEO agency so that you are working with someone who you trust and someone who you are no longer micromanaging with Search Console data. Welcome to Season 4, Episode 8 of Confessions of an SEO. First, to everyone who responded to last week's show and texted their contact information, by now you should have the availability to see the full version of Crawl or No Crawl reports on Substack. Any new listeners, Crawl or No Crawl reports are daily updates on the indexation testing project. It is the longest running, previously public SEO testing project. It's based on the methods employed in the single variable testing, SEO testing pioneered in 2015 by Kyle Roof. In fact, not a lot of people know that before the first SEO testing group popped up, Kyle and I were testing privately. Now, my first test was when Google was a different set of rules, and the question at the time was, should the header tag, number one, and the title tag be the same, exactly the same word for word, or different? And you want to know something funny? I can't remember what the data was from June 2015. I'm on like my second computer since. And here's the thing, I'm not sweating it. Google is a different set of rules today. And an answer from 2015 is probably not of any value. Hence, why the repeated test day after day is creating that value, at least for the indexation test, because if indexation thresholds change, guess who's going to be the first one to see it? Anyway, this project was begun in August 2021. Today is day number 899 of that project. And if I'm correct, day 1000 is going to be June 17th, 2024. So mark your calendars. Okay, so this week, I'm going to talk about an article that went viral. The one that created a ripple in the space-time continuum. The one that hit on the sorest spot, most sensitive nerve that we have about the Google ecosystem. Now that nerve is so finely honed because there's so much about Google, what it does, how it does it, that we cannot see it. You know, that picture of the iceberg that no matter how huge it is above the waterline, it's even bigger below the waterline. So what article am I talking about? Well, it was published by a site called HouseFresh, and they do product testing on devices related to air quality. And by the way, if you're ever looking for that, you really should go to their site. They are, and I'm going to quote their site, ad-free, and they buy all the devices they test with their own money. So when you buy through, this is their affiliate disclaimer, when you buy through links on our site, we may earn an affiliate commission, which we use to fund new product tests. As you can tell, they had me at the word test. But what they said in their article wasn't about their products, but about how, I guess, they talk more about their experience as a publisher in search. They say that Google is killing their site and other independent sites like them because, quote, Google has a clear bias towards big media publishers, unquote. But before we get into that, I do want to tell you that today's episode is sponsored by Magic Mind, and you better believe it, because this is something that I'm using myself. So I know most of us in our SEO work, it's not just our computers that are working with 100 tabs wide open. We do as well. And I'm sure, like most of us, I also tried energy shots in the past, and they made me feel really jittery all day, and I hated that feeling. But this one was presented as a productivity shot, and I'm going to quote them: scientifically designed to improve energy, focus, and mood. Now, while I like you guys, I'm not going to just put something in my body to just gain a sponsor, okay? So I sent the list of ingredients to my functional medicine person to take a look and let me know what they thought. Well, they came back so positive about them that I kind of couldn't wait to try it. So yeah, there's caffeine in it, but it's a slow release, kind of like green tea. And all of the ingredients that are in it are listed on their site. And I'll put the link in the description, but it's magicmind.com/confessions. And if you like what you see, I even have a coupon code, Confessions20, and it'll save you some money if you want to try it. They have 100% money back guarantee. There are no questions asked. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund you in 3 to 4 hours. Now, I do really like how it fits into my health picture. And you know, as SEOs, it's all about our productivity. So check it out. Anyway, the link is magicmind.com/confessions, and coupon code Confessions20 when you buy. Okay, so let's get back to the article. So I read it, and they talked about Reddit and BuzzFeed and Rolling Stone and Forbes and Popular Science and Better Homes and Gardens. And bemoaning that private equity firms basically are, what's the word? They called it utilized existing public trust. And I guess that might be another way of saying that is exploiting the public trust in long-standing publications that we all know, like Popular Science. And they're being used to sell every product under the sun because print publishing can no longer stand up to the cost savings of digital. And there are deals to be made. So all this David and Goliath talk, about themselves and these enterprise media publishers. And while that's going on, they very impressively demonstrate in their article that they know their products. And all the while that this thing is spinning around, this David and Goliath stuff, in their niche industry, they believe Google is just letting it happen. Now, personally, I found it a little amusing that they expressed surprise that Google allowed content to be served to the public from sites claiming that what was published was content generated from their own testing, when in fact, according to HouseFresh, it just really couldn't have been. But see, that's how much they know their business. They went back and mapped a timeline of the first time when Better Homes and Gardens mentioned air purifiers were being tested. And then 3 weeks later, they published, or said they announced that they had published an article where they had tested 38 air purifiers. Now, they know that to test over 30 devices in what appeared to be a few weeks without any prior mention or any sort of testing, in their eyes, is just not credible, because in their experience, because this is what they do, it takes much longer than that to test these devices to the point of having something useful to publish. Now, let's put a pin in that, because I honestly don't know how Google would be able to measure that one at the scale that Google is operating. Okay, I'm just noting that's what they said. Now, for regular listeners, you know full well that I am not a Google mouthpiece. In fact, I regularly and often bash Google over various things where they could really do better. So what I want to focus on here is, what if this is true? What if Google is idly standing by and letting big brands dominate? What if moving forward, no matter what we do, we just can't beat them? Because, if that is the case when it comes to affiliate or e-commerce, then we might as well give up. If this situation is, as the article implies, that nothing can be done, we might as well put our online businesses on hospice and go get a job at Taco Bell. Or at least apply to work at BuzzFeed, Rolling Stone, Forbes, Popular Science, or Better Homes and Gardens. Now, I find that I cannot get this article out of my mind. And fortunately, I have a friend who can either. And starting this week, Maria Sayes and I are going to host a series of videos to answer HouseFresh. Oh, HouseFresh, if you're listening, we'd love access to your Search Console and a sampling of your server logs. Now, I started a new YouTube channel called Forensic SEO. You can find it on YouTube. There's one video on there where I responded to a video that Google put out about tips for debugging technical problems in Google search. And in that one, I just suggested one of my own. But I'll put the links to both of the YouTube channels where this video series is going to come out. So this week, starting February 6th, she and I are going to unpack this, not just telling you what the article says, but putting together data to essentially work out our premise. What is that premise? Tune in and find out. So to get notified when the second video comes out, we set up a Substack for that, and it's called Search Driven Insights. The link will be in the description, and of course, I have a bit.ly link for it as well. So it is bit.ly / then Search Driven Insights, all one word. Now the button says pledge your support. Now that's Substack, not us. All that will happen is if you click on that, you can sign up without a pledge and just put in your email address. And as soon as the second video in the series is ready after this first one, you'll get an email from us via Substack. Now, I hope you find this as interesting and compelling as I do. Let me know. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you for being a listener. Keep coming back. And by the way, I'm using a new mic, so I would love to know if you think it's the same or better. And if there are any topics you'd like me to cover coming up in March, remember to take the survey. And that's a short link, bit.ly /COAS -survey3. So 30. Yeah, 30AS is Confessions of an SEO. And survey 3 means it's the year 3 survey. And you can also text Confessions 512-222-3132 with your topic ideas. So if you'd like to be in the next group of lucky ducks to receive a 30-day complimentary free trial to Crawl or No Crawl, you have until February 29th. That's not long. That's the end of this month. Text the word indexation along with your name and email to the same number, 512-222-3132. Well, that's it. Until next week, I'll see you in the SERPs.